Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. And shalom to the 144,000 elect. I am Ayak Allah. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to call this, and it is going to be a very short lesson. I just have a couple verses that I wanted to bring out. I was listening to the news the other day, and they were talking about the rollout of this new 6G wireless system, and it's going to be a system, and they're saying because of the amount of gigs or amount of hertz that we're going to be exposed to, that it's going to be very dangerous to our bodies, and it's going to actually put us on a constant state of being surveilled. There's not going to be any place, pretty much like it is right now, there's not going to be any place that you can walk without being picked up on camera, being picked up using this new 6G wireless system. And they also mentioned about how it's going to be very harmful to the body, just the exposure, because you're going to be constantly exposed to this wireless system. And even if you don't have it yourself, they're saying that you really won't even need it, because it's going to be around you and you'll be able to pick it up on your phone. And even if you stay with the 5G phones, it's still going to pick up this new 6G wireless system. So you really don't even have to have it, but you're still going to be exposed to it. And the expert that they had speaking was mentioning how it's going to be very harmful to the body, because you already have people who are very sensitive to the 5G wireless system, especially those individuals who use the watch that you have on your arm. You know, that Apple Watch, having it so close and so resting right up on your skin. It's not even a good idea to keep these phones on you. It's not even a good idea to have these phones up to your ear when you're speaking on them, because of course the manufacturers of these things and the people who sell these things are going to say that it's not enough level where it could be harmful to the body. But we already know that these things are harmful to the body. They are damaging to the body, and you don't want to have it close to you on a regular basis. You don't want to have it on you if you can avoid it. I know a lot of times I end up putting it in my pocket, and even I try not to put it up to my ear when I speak on it. I try to speak on speaker as much as possible, but there are some instances where you're not able to speak on, talk on speaker, and you kind of have to have it on your ear. But I try to make that few and far in between when I have this thing up to my ear. And even when I do, I try not to put it directly on my skin. I just kind of hold it close to my ear, because I notice dangerous radiation coming off of these things. All right, and there's only so much that we can do, because like I said, we're surrounded by this system, and with their studies, they always come back and tell us that it's not harmful levels. But you can talk to some individuals who experience different things with these phones, though, and with that Apple Watch, because they get irritations on their arm. It can irritate your skin. It can make you even sometimes, especially when you have your phone on vibrate. I know I experience myself a lot of times when I have it in my pocket. I get that sensation or get that feeling as if it's vibrating, and I'll look at it, and there's not even a notification, there's not a call or not anything. It's just you can get that sensation against your skin sometimes, just as if it's vibrating, and it's not even vibrating. So I know this is doing having a adverse effect on your body. But I looked up in asked ChatGPT of what were some of the effects on the body from the upcoming 6G system, and it was pretty vague, but I'm going to read you a little bit about what it says. I mean, at this point, I don't expect ChatGPT to really be forthcoming with any information or real information that they have on this 6G wireless system. But here's what it had to say. It says, here's what we know so far about potential effects on the body from the future 6G wireless systems, based on current science about radio frequency, electromagnetic fields, and the likely frequencies 6G will use. And it says, what is 6G expected to use? It says 6G is still in research stages. So they're still researching this thing. They don't know what it's going to do to you, but they'll be quick to tell you that they're going to roll it out here in the future, and that it shouldn't have any adverse effects on your body. But as you can see, the very first line here says 6G is still in research stages. It says, but experts anticipate it will use sub-THz frequencies from 100 to 300 gigahertz, possibly THZ waves, 0.3 to 3 THz in some applications. It says power levels comparable to or lower than today's 5G small cell networks, highly directional, low power beams. It says none of this technology is deployed yet, so predictions are based on known physics and biological research on similar frequencies. So they're saying the technology is not been deployed yet. So how are they doing their studies? It says, what are the known biological effects of high frequency EMFs? It says, 1, the primary known effect, surface level heating. All right, so it sounds like we can expect that this thing is going to heat your skin on the surface. It says, at very high frequencies, above 100 gigahertz, I'm assuming that's what GHZs are, RF energy is absorbed mostly in the skin, not deep in the body. Just your skin is on your body. It says penetration depth is less than 0.5 millimeters at 100 plus gigahertz. This means no significant heating of organs or deeper tissues. But we're going to be constantly surrounded by this thing. All right? And they don't know what the long-term effects could be on the body with this thing and what it can do to your internal organs. It says this means no significant heating of organs or deeper tissues. Safety standards. And then it has in parentheses ICNIRP/IEEE. I don't know what that is. It says set exposure limits for far below levels that cause harmful heating. So far, heating is the only confirmed biological mechanism at these frequencies. And 2, it says no evidence of DNA damage or cancer from non-ionizing RF. THZ and sub-THZ radiation is non-ionizing, meaning it cannot break chemical bonds or damage DNA the way X-rays or gamma rays can. Existing studies on 5G range and higher frequencies show no consistent evidence of carcinogenic effects at exposure levels allowed for the public. It says some early lab studies hint at possible non-thermal interactions, but these results are inconsistent and not reproducible. 3, it says skin, eyes, and surface tissues are the main interaction points. All right, and we know that these areas on our body, I mean, our bodies, first of all, are made up of 75% of our body is liquid as water. All right, so this 6G system could dry you out. It's gonna absorb some of that water. I mean, you're gonna possibly have to really keep your body. Well, you will have to really keep your body hydrated. All right. Even now, you have to keep yourself hydrated, and just imagine with this 6G system in effect, how much more damage it's gonna be doing to your body. So you're gonna have to really pay attention and make sure that you're keeping your body hydrated. It says because penetration is shallow, researchers focus on the skin, heating effect only at very high exposure, no confirmed long-term harmful effects at regulated levels. Eyes, high intensity THZ exposure could theoretically heat the cornea. But 6G systems are far below these intensities, right? But with constant exposure, who knows what this can do? And they already know it can do damage to the cornea. So it says immune cells in skin. It says studies so far show no harmful immune or inflammatory effects at realistic exposure levels. 4, overall health risk assessment based on current science. There is no evidence that 6G type frequencies pose new or unique health risks compared to existing wireless technologies. Regulatory limits are set with wide safety margins to prevent heating effects and have been conservative for decades. It says what is not known yet. Since 6G is still under development, some areas will need more study. Long-term exposure at sub-THZ/THZ frequencies. Dense small cell deployments. Similar concerns originally raised for 5G. It says effects on individuals with sensitivity to heat. And in parentheses, it says it's not EMFs specifically, but so far, nothing suggests these exposures will be harmful under regulated limits. All right, and it says, and under the summary, it says 6G is expected to operate at higher frequencies, interact only with skin and eyes due to shallow penetration, cause only heating effects at very high non-public exposure levels, have no confirmed harmful biological effects at safe exposure levels. No, so what is the safe exposure level if it's going to be all around us at all times? I mean, there's no way you can get away from it. All right, even if you go to an area where you don't see the poles that these things are sitting on, or this is going to be a system that's going to be all around the whole world. The whole world is going to take on this 6G system. All right. It says there is no evidence that 6G will negatively affect the human body under normal environmental exposure. And they keep saying this normal environmental exposure, but they haven't done a long-term study because it hasn't been in long-term use. When they release this thing, they don't know what the effects are going to be, because like I said, this is going to be around the whole world. This is going to be, there's no place that you'll be able to go and be able to get away from this thing. All right, but this being very, very vague here, so it's really not. And like I said, I wasn't really expecting to get the whole truth from ChatGPT, because I know ChatGPT it has changed. All right, whereas it was programmed with very accurate information, and now you can see that there's a difference with this ChatGPT. All right, but I just have a couple verses that I wanted to bring out, because in these times coming, these times that we're living in, you have to be in constant prayer, and they have to have faith that the Lord is going to look out for the Israelites. Is going to look out for his elect. All right. I'm not saying that I'm one of the elect, but I pray that the Lord have mercy upon me and my brothers. All right. The first verse that I wanted to go to, I have it right here in Psalms chapter 71. And it says, "Thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles shall quicken me again, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth." And I wanted to take a look at this word quicken. And it is H2421. And I'll give you a pronunciation.
Strong's H2421. Chaya. Chaya.
And it says under the biblical usage, it says to live, have life, remain alive, and sustain life. It says live prosperously, live forever, be quickened, be alive, be restored to life or health. All right, and we have to, like I said, with the times that we're living in, we know that these are dangerous levels that we're being exposed to, with all these wireless systems about us, and being constantly bombarded with not only just these wireless systems, but being bombarded with what's being done to the air, what's being done to the things that we consume, the water, all around us. And we're under constant attack because of, I'm going to, just for a lack of a better word, I'm going to say, for the constant use of technology, of wanting to have those that are in power wanting to have constant surveillance, just to be able to constantly know what exactly what you're looking at on your phone, wanting to constantly know where you go, where you shop, what you spend your money on. This is just constant surveillance. There's really nowhere that you can go where some camera or some type of system isn't picking you up and knowing what your every move is. All right, and we have to pray to the Lord, all right, that He have favor upon us and watch over us and keep us safe in this world, because this world is wicked. All right, and the wicked used all these systems for their gain. It's just, like I said, just in an effort to make sure that they're monitoring you constantly. All right, and they know that it's having an adverse effect on your health. All right, so it's in an effort to also keep them profitable, because they are invested in these various organizations, these various pharmaceutical products. All right, and I wanted to go back and I wanted to read this in the NLT. It says, Psalm 71 verse 20 says, "You have allowed me to suffer much hardship, but you will restore me to life again and lift me up from the depths of the earth." All right, and when this place has been destroyed, all right, and the kingdom that is to come is here on earth, we won't have to be concerned with all these constant bombardments from these THZs, as they put it, and these gigahertz, and it's the constant systems that they want to have in place. All right, but we do have to do what we can to maintain our health, and just be conscious of how much we use these devices that they put in effect. If you don't have to have one of those Apple Watches on your arm, I would recommend not having it. I mean, if you don't have to keep that phone on you, or sleep with that phone within a certain amount of space on you, I would recommend that you don't. You know, I try to keep that thing far away from me, especially when I sleep. All right. And I just have one other verse that I want to bring out, because I didn't want to make this too long. And Salakia for reading so much of that Chat GPT. But the important part is to bring out these two verses that I wanted to bring out. And the other one is in the book of Psalms as well. Psalms 116. And you can see the heading there. It says, "Thanksgiving for the deliverance from death." And it says, Psalms 116 verse 3 says, "The sorrows of death compassed me, and the pains of hell got hold upon me. I found trouble and sorrow." All right, and when it's talking about the pains of hell, it's talking about the pains of being like I was mentioning, I'm talking about these systems that we are in, is being in a condition that we're in. It's not talking about some place that's under the ground. It's talking about the conditions that we have to suffer in, and just being on this earth the way it is right now. We're under constant surveillance, and we are in a state, a hellish type condition, all right, where our bodies are being broken down on a daily basis because of we things that we use just to be able to navigate this planet. I mean, you really can't avoid not having a phone if you were, especially you have to be in touch with family. You have to be in touch with your brothers. You have to be in touch with your plantation that you go to on a daily basis. So there's really no way around having these phones and having these devices, but you could minimize the use of them if you don't absolutely have to be on these things. I mean, you can be away from it and not use it if you don't really have to. And I wanted to read that in the NLT too. It says, Psalm 116 verse 3 says, Death wrapped its ropes around me. The terrors of the grave overtook me. It says, I saw only trouble and sorrow. Verse 4, and I'm still in the NLT. It says, Then I called on the name of the Lord Yahweh, which means He is. It says, Please, Lord Yahweh, save me. All right. And that's what you have to do. You have to call upon the Lord to save you, because there's not anything that these physicians or these so-called doctors on this planet can do for you, because they're not gonna do anything that's really gonna help you. They're gonna do something that's gonna allow you to come back and see them. All right. And as far as these wireless systems that we're constantly being bombarded with and constantly around, like I said, there's really no way to avoid them. All right. We're under constant surveillance all the time. All right. So you have to call upon the name of the Lord. All right. And all right, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Salakia for going so long on this, but I pray it's been edifying to the listener. And I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, HaKadosh, Shalom.